But just with the emotion and the atmosphere today, you combine that with the physicality of the game itself. Just how impressed were you with the way your team was able to maintain throughout the course of the game?
I mean, I've just been so impressed the way that we played throughout this whole, streak. When we struggled early, we talked about trying to get hot at the right time. We have 2 games left, obviously, in the regular season. 3 or 4 weeks ago, everybody was talking about our schedule, and we still have 2 incredibly tough games, one at home, one on the road. But what the group has done is they weathered a really, really tough schedule. And not only did they kind of weather it, but they dominated it by winning basketball games, quite frankly, against some incredible teams. That Kentucky team can win a national championship. The Tennessee team can win a national championship. They're Final Four caliber. We've played some really tough teams. Auburn is a team that could win a national championship. So, we knew that the schedule was really, really hard towards the end of the season. And the most impressive thing is you win a big game, whether it be Auburn or Tennessee, and you come back and you're ready for the next game. They're still student athletes. Like, these are not grown professional athletes. The mental toughness of putting a game behind and coming back. Same thing. We lost at Alabama, and, we thought we played really well. We just lost, and they didn't listen to any outside noise. They got ready for the next game. And it's hard to do for college players night after night after night towards the end of a long season, with a limited, we're not playing a lot of guys, and they got great toughness. They're in a great groove as well.
Eric, we talked about this the other day on the Zoom, but you guys, again, Kentucky absorbed that early flurry, then they come back and take the lead. It could be pretty deflating, but you guys find a way to come back and win. You just seem like this team just knows how to finish games. What do you think the way you guys responded to, I guess, Kentucky's, big response?
Yeah, we talked about it at one of the timeouts when we got down 1. I kind of looked, and not that I ever smile much, but I felt like I cracked a smile and said, hey, we would have maybe taken this 2 hours. It's a 1-point game, and there's 8 minutes to go, 8 minutes 44. I don't know what the time was on the clock, but it's a big deal. Like, we come down, we score, and we're up. Like, and we said the same thing at halftime. Obviously, they outplayed us the last 3 minutes of the half, I thought. And at halftime, if you look at Kentucky's games, the last several games, they've come out and had great runs in the second half to start second halves. And so that was in the back of my mind. I didn't want to tell the team at halftime that they're really good coming out, but I did tell it to them once that run was kind of semi-controlled by us.
And you just feel like your guys just know how to finish now, though? I mean,
just confident, Bob, and great belief. We ran some pick and roll sets at a little bit different angle than we have at times. And when Kamani was in there, he was rim rolling. When Jay Will was in, he was short rolling, right to the nail. We ran some pick and rolls with Stan as a screen setter on the wing that we haven't done much of late. Looking back, I'm sure I probably think I should have run some more wing pick and rolls with Stan setting it. But we just made some big shots and some big free throws at crucial times.
It seemed like JD a lot ran through him and all those points early, but guys like Jay Will, Umide, even Kamani with a couple of big plays. Talk about other guys stepping up at the end to give you some points and scoring, but also in a game where there was a lot of big 50-50 ball plays, you guys got your share, and that seemed like it might have had a big difference here.
Yeah, I thought all the guys that, obviously we put the ball, Kevin, in JD's hands, and, he took 25 plus shots. But we felt that might be a way for us to win. He also had 8 assists. So you take his shot attempts and his assists, the ball was in his hands a great deal tonight. But you're right. I mean, no one's going to talk about Trey Wade, but I thought he got us going early in the game. He had a dunk. He had a good slip to the screen. He guarded his guy. He had a great block out. A DC, Tony, if you just look at his box score, whatever, but he guarded Grady. And Grady hit 1-3, and it was towards the end of the game on a shot that was really hard and defended the right way. The guy just made a difficult, tough shot. So a lot of guys stepped up and did a lot of small things that maybe somebody doesn't talk about. And we needed Kamani to come in, certainly when Jay Will, because Jay Will was sick at halftime. Didn't know what we were going to get out of him energy wise. And he kind of sucked it up and fought through it. And Kamani had one offensive rebound that was really crucial as well, because it's against Kentucky. They get so many extra possessions. And they did tonight too. You look at the shot attempts, they got 8 more shots than us. You look at the, 16, 18 offensive rebounds, like it's a possession game against them. But again, take the W.
Given what I guess JD's done throughout this run that you guys are on, especially in your big games, how do you think he should be talked about, like maybe from a national perspective now, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the, best players in the country. And Scotty, he's growing too. I mean, he's been a scorer his whole life. He's a natural 2 guard that needs to continue, to convert to play that 1 spot. And he keeps getting better. I thought he made some great reads tonight after we addressed maybe a step back 3 that we weren't real pumped up about. And then all of a sudden he comes and makes 2 dimes to roll men and gets easy baskets for us. So he's going to keep getting better too, because he's seeing the game a little bit different, more as a point guard of late. Although he's, tonight we needed him to score a lot.
Coach, what did you think of Oscar Sheboy today? It looked like you guys double teamed him. Jalen
Monster.
thrown in.
We double teamed him to start the game. And Coach Calipari, his staff, the players, they were ready for it. They burned us. That was one of Toppin's. I think he only made 1 basket. Toppin had a basket cut. Brooks had one. Then Brooks had an offensive tip dunk because we were kind of sloughing and getting ready to go trap. Then we tried to trap off a Wheeler because he's a lot of times the entry pass guy, and a lot of NBA teams will trap off that passer if it's a direct pass into the post. We got burned on that. And then much like we did against Florida, we just told the team, hey, stop. Don't give up a 3. Jay Will or Kamani, guard him one-on-one. We'll take playing one-on-one and trying to shoot over a skilled hand rather than let Grady start racking 3s or Ty Washington hitting 3s. And that was a decision we made. And he's virtually an impossible guy to guard one-on-one. And that's why his line looks like it did. But, maybe if we lose, that decision backfires. But we felt the same thing in Florida. We couldn't let Florida's perimeter guys get off from the 3-point line. And so it was similar philosophy in game. What we had going in, I didn't like the way it looked 4 minutes into the game.
I think you told us this week that this was going to be the last game that you're going to wear the brace. Is that, you're not wearing it now? Are you officially done with it?
From a medical standpoint, yes. We've been winning a lot of games with that sling. I hate it, but I have 2 bosses, Hunter and Danielle. And 2 separate occasions I've been told to leave it on. I don't want to. I hate it. I pray every night that I'm thankful that we've won like we have, because it has not been fun coaching with it. But it's been one of the funnest times I've ever had coaching a team because of the difficulty of the schedule and the way we've been winning. But I don't wish a torn rotator cuff in the middle of a season on any coach of any sport. I promise you that.
And just where you rate Oscar with some of the other players in the star players in this league, and also just the job Jalen did late, kind of down the stretch for you against him.
Yeah, Jalen, again, we didn't give him much help, and Tshiebwe does such a great job of ducking in. He's probably the best duck in guy. He's probably the best big that we have coached against in establishing post position in the paint. he's in there all the time. And he's really hard to score when he catches the ball 1 inch from because he's got incredible touch. So he's offensively and rebounding wise, he's as good as anybody that we faced for sure.
Eric, Jalen had a stretch in the second half where I think he scored 10 straight points. I mean, just considering he wasn't 100% at halftime, I mean, just what does that say about him kind of battling through that and weathering that sickness?
I mean, that was one of the things, Scotty, that we talked about is put Toshibwe in pick and rolls and Jay will make reads. So he was killing us on one end, and I thought that we did a really good job of being aggressive against him at the other end. And Jalen had some great rip and goes to try to put pressure on their bigs laterally. And then, Jalen, I mean, he still opened the game. He took some threes too, which even when he doesn't make them, what ends up happening is he stretches the defense out. So I thought he was phenomenal. I mean, again, you can ask a guy to play Toshibwe straight up like we did, but he's going to score on anybody in the country. And then Jalen did a great job of attacking at the other end as well.
Your team finished top 10 last year, Elite Eight run. This year, you got into the top 10. You feel like your team now has proven to some point, I mean, there's more games to play. You feel like this is a team that's worthy of being mentioned among top 10 teams in this country?
I mean, I do, but you got to watch games, like if you're voting and stuff, like you got to turn on your TV and you got to study stats because I mean, we beat Kentucky, we beat Auburn, we beat Tennessee. We've gone on the road and won some big games. And so, I mean, I think right now at this juncture, we're playing really well. We still got 2 hard games and we're not satisfied at all. I mean, I want all the guys to enjoy, today. And then we got to start looking at our next opponent, LSU, and how we can get ready to compete against them.
Have you and Ruta crunched the numbers on tiebreakers and things like that yet? Or are y'all just waiting and putting that out ahead a little bit until these other games?
I mean, I'm not very good in math. Coach Ruta is really good. I'm sure you guys know, but I think we're in the top 4. Is that correct? So that means, when we go to Tampa, we have a double bye, right? I'm new to the league, fairly new. So, but I think that mathematically, that's what Coach Ruta told me tonight with about 2 minutes before tip off, that if we win, we have, but that's awesome. But we want more. We want to continue to win.
Eric, you said earlier in this deal, Auburn's good enough to win a title. Kentucky's good enough to win a title. Tennessee's good enough to win a title. You didn't mention Arkansas. Do you think
We're good enough where we got to keep getting better? That's all I know.
Yeah. Would you?
I knew you were going to follow that.
I mean, you beat those teams, so don't you think you deserve to be in the conversation with them? If
I just want to keep getting better.
Yeah.
And I want our players to understand that we got a lot of areas that we can keep improving on. Again, I've never been happier and prouder to be, and it's a fun group. Like we're having a blast. We're grinding in practice and, but we're having fun too, and you want your student athletes to have an experience of a lifetime and to play in front of that crowd and to be able to win. But we got to get ready for LSU too. That's part of the package as well.
You didn't really say if you're going to keep, you talked about Danielle and Hunter. You didn't really say if you're going to keep wearing a sling or not. I mean, have you decided what you're going to do Wednesday night?
I haven't decided. I'll probably get called into the principal's office and Hunter will have a meeting with me on it.
Coach, I think a lot of times when it comes to recruiting, people say, well, if you get kids to campus, especially here, you got a much better chance to land them. You've talked about after the Auburn win, after the Tennessee win, when kids see these atmospheres on TVs, how much do you think it's easier for them to schedule official visits or unofficial just to be a part of something like that?
Yeah. I mean, our crowd is as good as anywhere in the country, and I think it helps. I mean, I haven't read all my text messages, but I mean, I got a group of guys that I went to college with that are blowing my phone up about, is that place really what it looks like? I mean, they live in San Diego and San Francisco and Oakland. And I mean, this place is magical when you're winning. And I think from a recruiting standpoint, it does nothing but help you. And you know what? When Coach Pittman's team won this year and we brought recruits to the game, like it helps everybody. I mean, when teams on campus are winning and there's crowd generate and there's like, I mean, our recruits enjoy going to baseball games. It's an insane environment there. So, you know, hopefully we hold up our end, because certainly the other sports here are helping us recruiting. And then I think, you know, it's a little bit harder in our season to get our recruits to come here because they're playing games as well. And so sometimes we rely on other sports on campus to help us with recruiting. And I think anytime you have crowd support like we do in the other programs on campus, it makes it pretty magical.
Eric, you obviously we talked about how well you guys are doing, but you're 4-0 against ranked teams. And 3 of the wins are here, but you also won at LSU. What do you think about being 4-0?
Well, I didn't win at LSU. They did, but
okay. Well, I'm sure you were part of the game plan and all that. I mean, just what do you think about being 4-0 against ranked teams?
I mean, I think like we've stepped up to the occasion, Bob, as a group. They have, you know, I mean, if you're playing ranked teams and you go 500, sometimes that's pretty good, you know. But there's just they're not satisfied. They have a lot of belief in themselves as a group. Otherwise, you know, you can't win like that against ranked. I mean, they're not just ranked teams. When you're talking about teams that are highly ranked, I mean, especially Auburn, obviously being one, and then Kentucky where they're ranked. I mean, these are the ones I don't want them to end, Mike. I mean, don't keep me up here after an L.